Katie. I also go by Meraki or Meraki22 online. You can find my blog linked below if you'd like to find out more information. But this is the next part in our little gold making series for casuals, and by that I mean people that don't particularly want to be professional gold makers and don't particularly want to have hundreds and thousands and millions of gold, but they would like to make enough to pay for their subscription and, you know, be able to buy bits and pieces that they want and maybe have some gold stockpiled for going into Legion. So this is for you guys, because a lot of the gold making guides out there right now take a lot of time and investment to do, and that is awesome. If you have the time to do that, go for it, because it's very, very profitable. But if you don't, if you have other things that you want to do with your time in game or whatever, but you would like to be making enough to pay for your subscription, you're in the right place. We've already covered garrisons, and we've covered installing and setting up your options for TradeSkillMaster in the most basic way possible. I'll link those below if you want to catch up. If you do want to go into more depth in installing TradeSkillMaster, and I recommend you do because it is a vital tool in gold making, you can find hundreds of videos here on YouTube to that. Just type it in the search bar above and knock yourself out. If you literally want the bare minimum basics, stay here. Today's going to be a very, very short video because before we get into the proper meat of TradeSkillMaster and how to work it, I wanted to get you selling. Basically, that's where I'm at. And I know that when we can start talking about groups and we can start talking about operations, and we will you know, work that out and help you get your head around it. But for now, straight off the bat, I just want to get you able to sell stuff and buy stuff on the auction house with whatever time you have available and whatever stuff you happen to have available at the moment, and we can refine that later on. But so what we're going to talk about today is quick sell and sniper function. When you open up TradeSkillMaster at your auctioneer here, without doing anything else except installing it and fixing up your options like we discussed in the past parts of this video, you're going to have a blank frame like this. It's telling you don't have any groups set up, which we haven't set up any groups yet. That doesn't mean you can't sell anything. Now, groups and operations are obviously the best way to sell things, and we're going to get into that in the next part. But for now, we're going to talk about this one here, this bottom button. This says quick post from bags, and if you hit this, it will pull in everything from your bags that is not soulbound and automatically price it to suit your realm market, to what's already up there. It'll undercut what's already up there, and it'll post it up. Now, if what's already on the AH is not the right market value price for that item, it's not particularly great. These prices are not refined. They're not the best prices and price settings you could be getting for this item. You might be underselling it, you might be overselling it. It's not particularly well looked into, but it will get your item on the AH, and if you're not in it, you can't win it, basically. If you're not going to make money if you don't have stuff on the AH. Now, you're not going to make your maximum profits just dropping everything into quick sell like this, but you will be making more than if it was lying in your bags. That's my idea of it. So, if you do this, and it will only import things to quick sell that you do not have in groups. So once we start making groups, anything we put into a group will not show up on this list. So that means that you can do this even after you have all your groups set up down the line. Say you've been out questing and you just have a whole lot of random greens. This is really good for your salvage yard, guys. If you have a whole lot of just random greens in your bag and you just want rid of them, but you'd want the profit, you don't want to just vendor them, hit quick sell, throw it all up. The one thing to be wary of is if you have things like non-soulbound things like shirts that you're using for roleplay, or blacksmith's hammers, or any other profession tools, or any materials like leather or ore, they will also get thrown into this list and they will also post. So just keep an eye on what you are posting up here, because it will sell absolutely everything in your bags that's not soulbound. To be fair, you'll probably sell your blacksmith's hammer for about 50 gold, but you might want to keep it at the same time. So just be aware of that. Keep an eye on what it is posting up, because it will try to post up everything. But that is how you get selling. I say you don't have anything, and you don't have any alts to level, and you don't have a salvage yard, and you don't have any way to pick up items, which is like an impossible scenario right now, but let's just go with it. The other thing we're going to look at is one we mentioned when we were talking about our options last time. So let's go into our options again and look down here at shopping, and down here to the sniper option. Now, I mentioned at the time that this is the only one you were really interested in here, and this is the important one. Pick a sound and then set your value. This value can be absolutely anything. Below custom price means that 100% of the market value is 100% of what that item is worth on the market. So if you want to buy it for half of its market value, you put in 50% market value. If you want to buy it for 30% of its market value, put in 30% market value. I wouldn't put in a straight gold amount in here, because that's going to apply to every single item on the market, and it's just not going to be valid for some. So stick with a percentage of your market value, and that's the really basic way to do it. I have a more complex string in here, you can see. If you want to go down that road, you can. I will link Shreya's video below. She's done a really nice video and a really nice string for sniper results, and it's very, very easy to follow. You just copy paste in the two strings that she has given you there, and you can have this one, which is a much nicer setup. But for the total baseline, you can just throw in 30%, 50%, whatever it is you want in there, and then it will only show you items that are listed on the auction house for less than that amount of their market value. Yeah? So set that up whatever way you want to buy it. Obviously, the higher it is, the more stuff is going to come up, and the more junk you're going to get that you don't want to be buying. So if you keep it low, keep it about 20-30%, I'd say. And then you want to go into shopping, custom filters and other searches, and hit start sniper. And you just sit here. This is a thing that you only really do if you're doing absolutely nothing else, or if you have a second screen and you're watching stuff. You could sit with sniper open and just let it run. It does take time to do that, which is why it's really only just as and when you have the time to do it. But there you go. Thick scale crown, selling for 6 gold, has a market value of 30. But you see, you have to be careful, because there's also quite a few of them on the AH at the minute, and I don't want to be bothering with that. This one, Thistlefur, there's 12 of those up there, and it is only costing me a gold though, so you have to weigh up your options. When the things pop up, they'll be under that part of your market value, but other factors weigh into that as well, like how many others are on there and what they're selling for. So just hover over, you set up your tooltips from last time, so you know what the minimum buyout is currently, and you know how many are up, so that's you can check off how many are up there, what they're selling for, and if you want to pick up that one and add it to that pile. If there's only 1 or 2 and they're selling for 3 times what it comes up, then buy it and flip it. Easy peasy, easy money. But yeah, this is something you can only do when you're actually standing at the AH and watching it constantly. So it's not going to be for everyone, and it's not going to be for all of the time, but if you're not doing anything else, you can find some amazing deals on here. I bought a couple of pets for like 2,000 or 3,000 and flipped them for almost 30. It's a big money maker when it catches, but it's all down to luck and speed. You gotta be fast. But yeah, so that's how you can pick things up and buy things. Another thing you can check out is up here in custom filters and other searches. You can see where you have sniper there. You can also do a disenchant search, which will search for anything selling for less than its disenchant value. So it'll pick up anything that's being sold for cheaper than its materials are worth. So you can buy it out, disenchant it, and resell the materials for more. Or a vendor search, which means it will show up anything that is being sold for less than its vendor price. To be honest, things that are being sold for less than their vendor price tend to be very, very minimally so, like it'll only be a couple of silver, but then again, that's a couple of silver in your pocket for running to a vendor and vendoring it. So it's useful enough. Down here at the bottom, I can click this Great Deals button because I have the premium version. You can't click that if you don't have the premium version, but you can find the Great Deals list on the TSM website. and which I think I showed you in the second part of this little series. I showed you where to find that great deals list, so you can find that on the website and you can search for any of those things that you think would be useful to buy out. But that's it for this segment. It's very small, very concise. I just wanted to show you how to use the sniper to pick up things. If you're ever standing around bored, you might as well be using that time, and to use the quick sell, just so you can get all that stuff in your bags on the auction house, because if it's not on the auction house, you're not going to make any money. Alright guys, I hope this was useful. If it was, like and subscribe and drop me a comment, and I shall see you again next time. Bye!